right, guys, we're going to be doing equipment comparison and ranking today. I've got 4 different types of wrist gear. We're going to talk about athletic tape, benching wraps, wrist straps, and boxing tape. All right, so we're going to be ranking these pieces of equipment on 4 different criteria. We're going to be ranking them on compression, mobility, adjustability, and durability. So for compression, that's going to be how tight you can get that wrist strap. For mobility, that's going to be how much mobility in your wrist you're going to have after you apply that wrist strap. For adjustability, that's going to be how easy is it going to be to loosen it and retighten it. We're going to talk in context of a comp. And then for durability, how long is it going to stay with your equipment and still be usable? All right, so first one up here is athletic tape. So athletic tape is the pretty traditional way of doing things. I'm just wrapping the tape up my wrist. The one nice thing about athletic tape is you can go up as high as you want as long as you still have tape. Now, in terms of compression, I rate this a 5 out of 5. This is probably the best you can get in terms of compression. You can already see my hands starting to swell up. But with that, it means that we're going to get the least amount of mobility. So I rate that a 2 out of 5 in terms of mobility. In terms of adjustability, I mean, you see I already put this on. It's a 1. You're probably not going to want to take off your tape in the middle of the competition to redo it. And in terms of durability, it's also a 1. You're using this once, you're throwing it out. Hopefully you have quite a few rolls in your bag and you're going to go through them, in a relatively quick amount of time. The benching strap. So this is what I started out with. It's an elastic strap. Wrap it around your wrist like this, cinch it down. It's definitely got the least amount of compressibility. You can cinch it down as much as you want, but at the end of the day, it's going to continue to stretch. So I'm going to give it a 2 in terms of compressibility. But that means that it's going to have a lot of mobility too. I'll give it a 5, so get that flick on the ball. In terms of adjustability, this is going to be really easy to do. Unwind, rewind. You can probably do it easily 2 throwers before you in a comp. You'll be able to get it done in time and be ready to throw. I'm going to give that a 4. And last, in terms of durability, there's always going to be the Velcro that fades, but you can also see here how this is starting to pull out. So it's not terribly durable. It definitely lasts you longer than 1 set of tape, so I'm going to give it a 3. Okay, now the boxing tape. So the boxing tape is trying to be a reusable piece of athletic tape, obviously without an adhesive in there. You definitely get a good deal of compression, but since there's no adhesion and the fabric can kind of roll over top of each other, it doesn't give you as much. I'd still give it around the 4 on the compression scale. In terms of mobility, you can see here you still have a good deal of mobility, definitely more than tape, so we're going to give it a 3. Adjustability, this is Velcro here. You can unwind and rewind. You're definitely not going to redo the whole thing in the middle of a comp, but you definitely have a little more adjustability than you do with the athletic tape, so let's give it a 2. And in terms of durability, you're again limited by Velcro, but you can see here it starts to fold over itself. It starts to thin out as you press. So I'm only going to give it a 2. This won't last in your bag that long. Last up is this lifting strap. This is what I personally use. You can see here it's just a buckle. Cinch that in. Because of the nylon, you can get a good mechanical advantage. Compression on this, pull it tight, Velcro it down. In terms of compression, this is pretty good. I'd give this about a 4. In terms of mobility, I mean, you can see I still have a good deal of mobility, definitely more than I would have than if I were taping, but not as much as I would get with the benching wrap, so I'm going to give it a 3. In terms of adjustability, I think this is the easiest one. I loosen it between almost every throw just to let my hand breathe, but just cinch it down and you're right back in. And last one, durability. This is easily a 4. I think this is the most durable. The only thing that's going to fade on you is this Velcro. And once that fades, you got to replace it. But otherwise, this is going to last the longest. All right, so here are the results on the comparison. I'm throwing them up on the screen now. Keep in mind with all of these that it all depends on how you wear them. I like to wear my wrist strap up to here on my wrist, but maybe you want to have it down lower, maybe you want to tape a little higher. That's going to give you different levels of compression and mobility. The other thing to note is that the boxing and the athletic tapes, these are things that a lot of guys, they're going to tape up higher on their wrist. They might even come up to here with these pieces of equipment. So you're going to get a different level of advantage with that, but they can also fit under, this strap here. So you can kind of double these up. You're probably not going to use both tapes together. You're probably not going to use this benching wrap with the strap. It's just going to be too bulky. But there's definitely some combinations that you can make with these to find what really works for you. So try them out, see what you guys like, but hopefully this helps you understand the differences.